A New Theory of Virus and Cell, a presentation by Professor Gershom Zajcek, Faculty of Medicine, Hebrew University of Jerusalem. The elementary unit of biology. Hitherto, we regarded cell as elementary unit of biology. And indeed, Virchow, in his law, said the cells come from cells, or omnis cellula est cellula. Yet this is not the entire story, because new cells never remain alone. They always join a family, and cell family is the elementary unit of biology, as I shall show immediately. So let's start again. We start from each cell carries the genome, and each cell begets cells, which means that all descendants of these cells have the same genome. And now we have to add to this basic knowledge that cells exist in family, and cells of a family carry a unique self stored in their genome. Let's start with the first life on Earth, which were families of single cells, and you can see and examine these cells also today in the oceans. All these cells live in the ocean, and they are single cell organism. And what we see here, that each cell has a self which is common to the entire family. And if we look what happened to them, we realize that previously to be formed, they were infected by a virus which actually uh, consists of their cell. And this virus actually triggered the formation of the self of this cell in the family. So let's look what happened to one cell. So we have a cell with a DNA, and provirus is a set of genes in the DNA genome which consists the self of the cell. And here we have a virus which approaches the receptor and soon will infect the cell. And we know now that this virus carries a copy of the self of the cell, and it's going to infect it. So what happens when this virus infects the cell? We see the virus entered the cell and lost its coat, which is called uncoating. And we know that without a coat you can't live, and therefore actually the uh, cell or the virus is dead once it crosses the receptor, and gradually this genome is approaching the provirus and fuses with this provirus of the infected cell. So virus attaches to a receptor, virus is uncoated, uncoated virus fuses with provirus, and provirus is updated, and the uncoated virus dies. Virion production and cell death. So we are here, the provirus was updated, and now the provirus is producing virions. Updated provirus controls receptor synthesis, and updated provirus controls virion production. The receptor synthesis is blocked for any virus which carries a different self, and therefore it will never enter the virus or never fuse with the DNA or provirus. And updated provirus controls virion production, and all these virions will carry the message of the self to other self. And what happens that once this is finished, the cell dies, and the cell dies in lysis. So virus infection triggers virus birth. The virus is born here, and cell death. And we remember that the virus was dead already after crossing the receptor. What about the virus coat? We remember that virus coat is synthesized by the cell prior to infection, and virus coat is shed off after infection, which is the uncoating, because this coat does not is not part of the message of the cell. Now it's obvious that in single cell family, the lytic content of the cell is dispersed and the cell dies. But in multicellular organism, lytic cell is called cell necrosis, and cell necrosis triggers repair by other cells. So conclusion, virus starts as cell organelle created by provirus, and mature virus is a messenger of the cell self, and it accounts for the formation of cell families.